guys, welcome back to another video. Now today, this isn't your gaming video or anything. I'm just going on to my horror channel to talk about FNAF 2, the movie. Now, like it says in the title, this is going to be a spoiler review, so if you don't want to get spoiled, click off this video right away, because there's going to be spoilers. There's going to be me talking about all that happens in the movie. Well, not everything that happens, but the most important parts of the movie that happened. So, if you don't want to see that, then click off this video right now. I'll give you a couple seconds to do that. Alright, now that people who haven't seen the movie clicked off, let's talk. So, the movie was better than the first one. It was. I watched it tonight. I watched it. It was very good. I loved it a lot. And, so, at the beginning of the movie, it was a little flashback to 1982. This was before the bite of 83 and the bite of 87. So, 1982. We see Charlotte, aka Charlie, Henry's daughter. Alright? And we also see young Vanessa, the child version of Vanessa, trying to cheer up Charlie. Amazing. That's great. And so, what happens is she sees a yellow rabbit taking this kid into the back. And so, she's like, she went to go tell some adults. They weren't listening. So, she did it herself. She went in there, she grabbed the child and tried to bring him out. But the thing is, when she got out, she screamed. And when she fell, there were 3 stab wounds on her back. She risked her life trying to save her child, that other kid. And then the trapdoor opened up and Charlie fell inside. And then the puppet came out of the trapdoor holding Charlie in the puppet's arms. And that was the end of that. Then the great FNAF soundtrack, the FNAF movie theme song came on, and it was a remix of it. And then after that, we see Vanessa waking up from a bad nightmare that she has. And skip ahead. Obviously, Mike and Vanessa were at dinner. And Vanessa obviously says, "Is this what it like to be normal?" And if we go a lot further into there, Mike tells Vanessa to conquer her fears and try to stop the bad nightmares from happening. Because this is kind of like what Mike went through, but even worse. And while Vanessa was at the thing where she gets taught how to get taught to exercise and stuff. She has a lot of um, false visions of William right in front of her, telling her to go faster on the bike. The bike one. The exercise bike. I don't know what it's called. And so she stops it, and then she goes into the room and packs up. And then I think one of her friends tapped her on the shoulder, but she thought that was William, so she pulled a gun to him. And then she goes to her house. She has that nightmare where she was, just, and she was saying she wasn't afraid of him. She wasn't afraid of William or anything. And then when William was walking toward her, she ran away. And she was running a lot. And then she went into the little workshop in their attic. She hides behind something, and she got turned into her younger self. She hides behind something. She looks over and sees Circus Baby turning on and looking at her. And now that was one of the most surprising things ever. That was amazing. And then later, after, she shoots her father again. Just like the FNAF 1 movie, but obviously it didn't hurt William in the FNAF 1 because obviously he was in the suit. So, yeah. And then what happened is, let's just say the teacher that Abby has is kind of sort of a dick. My opinion, he deserved to die by Toy Chica. My opinion. Because that teacher was such a dick to Abby. It's not even funny. He was shitting on her dreams and everything. And then, at the science fair, she brought her project to there because she was done. And the stupid mean-ass teacher dropped it on the floor on purpose in front of Abby. And Abby ran out of school crying and went to the Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria again and goes and hugs Toy Chica. And Toy Chica goes, "What's wrong, Abby?" And Abby goes, "My teacher broke my science fair project." And then Chica goes, "I can be your science fair project." And so Abby goes, "Really? You did that for me?" And Chica goes, "Yeah, I just need you to do something for us." Which is deactivate the stuff that doesn't allow them to leave. And so when they deactivated that was the puppet's plan the whole time. was to get someone to deactivate the security things so that they can get out. And so, obviously, they go to the science fair. Chica talks to the teacher, and the teacher thinks that Abby cheated by having a person inside of a costume, which is not the case. And then Chica is pissed, and so Chica goes, well, I'm gonna go have a little chat with the teacher. So she went to go do that, and she ended up murdering him by squishing his head with her hands. I want to see what's inside your head, and then squishes his head with her hand. But before that happened, there was a taxi that pulled up. And guess who was in that taxi? Corey Kenshin again. Corey Kenshin was in both FNAF movies. That is crazy. Oh my god, I am so happy. And then after that happened, after all the events like that happened, they were able to leave. So, let's go way back to when McKenna Grace was, playing the paranormal investigator. One little character showed up, and he wasn't a paranormal investigator. No, he was none other than Michael Afton himself. Which was amazing to see. That Michael Afton does exist. And so, all of a sudden, okay, they start attacking people. This is all the way back to where I left off. And the first time we saw the puppet possess somebody was when she possessed McKenna. And she possessed McKenna for a while. And the puppet grabbed Vanessa when Vanessa was exploring the pizzeria, seeing if anybody was in the box, noticing nobody was in there, and the puppet should be in there. And the puppet kinda tied her up. And Charlie was choking her until she gave the code in order for Abby to put in. And it's like the puppet wanted to get revenge for people controlling her with controlling people. That's probably the whole puppet thing. Because puppet could possess other people. Like at the end, we'll get to that. And not really that much stuff is important. The toy animatronics went around killing everybody. And then he introduced his full name when they were all at Mike's house. Michael Afton introduced his full name and said, "Hello, sis," to Vanessa. And the most greatest part is Mike went to the old pizzeria, the FNAF 1 movie pizzeria, and he asked the ghost children for help. Like the originals, like the others. And so they helped. All the way at the end of the movie, they helped by killing the animatronics. I think Chica ripped Toy Chica's head off. Foxy dealt with Withered Foxy. Obviously Bonnie dealt with Withered Bonnie, and Freddy dealt with Withered Freddy. But then they deactivated because they weren't programmed to be out of the pizzeria. So they deactivated. And then one of the ghost children, and it was from Foxy, came out and said, "We will always be with you. We will be always with you." And turns to Mike and says, you need to be cautious, because he will come back. And Mike goes, "Who's he?" And the child's like, we're getting let go now, so I have to go. And then the ghost child disappeared. And then Michael Afton starts to run away. Well, this is before the ghost child appeared. And then got literally WWE fucking flipped by a guy who was friends with Mike. And he literally said, "Where the fuck do you think you're going, asshole?" That was amazing. That fucking flip, bro, that was amazing. And obviously there was the post-credit scene where we got a teaser of Springtrap. And it was an amazing teaser. And then at the end credits, there was a Easter egg. It was Henry talking more about his past and how he worked with William Afton, co-worked with him. So that confirms the lore that William and Henry were business partners for several years. And then he noticed that he knew that William was actually a psychotic killer. And he realized that he's the one who killed Charlie. And so Henry was like, "You gotta get out of here. the puppet, and then it cuts off. No, wait. No, it cuts back on and says, "You have to get out of there. You have to save yourself." And then it ends. Anyways, that was the end. Wait, no, I have to give it a rating. So, my rating for this movie is... I mean, everything that I wanted in a FNAF movie that wasn't in the first one was in the second one. More jump scares, more lore. Shadow Bonnie made an appearance. So, I give the rating 10 out of 10. This was an amazing movie. Actually, 9.5. It's still good though. It was still amazing. Anyways, that was the end of this review, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe, and tell me if you want to see a FNAF 3 movie review when the FNAF 3 movie comes out. Bye, everybody. I'll see you in the next one.